Hey there, welcome to my channel, Inside Out Freedom, where we talk about all things to experience inner freedom, right? Freedom from the inside out. Just because I've found that in life, whatever it is that you are seeking externally, whether it's making more money or having better relationships or better health, it all starts with experiencing that freedom from inside, that spiritual freedom internally. And so this channel is really about different tips, different tools. I'll share different stories on how to truly experience that inner freedom, right? Freedom from negative emotions, the anxiety, the depression, the sadness, the fears, how to manifest the things that you want into your life. If you're into meditation, how to really be still and listen to what your soul wants to tell you, just different ideas, different topics like that. And my name is Jonathan Liu. I am your host. And freedom is a big thing for me because in my past, I was an ex gang member, ex drug dealer, ex convict. And I just remember being in prison and being incarcerated, not being able to do the things I wanted. And I just hated that limitation, right? And so I went from being, right, this ex-convict, ex-gang member to becoming a transformational speaker. So transformation, personal growth is huge for me as well. And I want to just kind of share a little bit of how I made that transformation. People always ask me, like, well, what took you from, gang member to transformational speaker? And it was a method called theta healing, which it was a session. This was 2008, November 2008, just a couple months prior to that in September. I had gotten off parole and I didn't know what I was doing with my life. I was drinking, getting high every day, kind of lost, not knowing what direction to go. My mom introduced me to this lady. Her name was Joanna. She was teaching this like theta healing thing. And my mom was like, "Hey, I'll pay for your session. Just go, experience it." And so I went. I had no idea what it was. Turns out theta is a brain wave, right? In our minds. It's when we're sleeping, right? When we have REM sleep. And they basically access that and they ask questions. And I go to the session, and Joanna and her son Derek were talking about past lives and muscle testing and beliefs and limiting beliefs. And I really didn't know what any of that meant at the time. Um, but somehow during that session, they did get me to open up and talk about a friend of mine that was shot and killed, right? And I guess unalived, as people call it these days. But I didn't share that with many people back then, and I did, and then I remember in that session, four things, like four words changed my life, right? In that session, Derek, who was Joanna's son, he had this ability to speak to the other side. And he basically said, my friend was there, right? And I could feel something there. There was a presence. I wasn't sure. And he said, my friend had a message for me. And he said these four words that changed my life. He said that it's not your fault. It's not your fault. And I remember hearing that message and just literally like breaking down and crying for, I don't know, it felt like 30 minutes, but it was probably like 2 or 3 minutes. But I was just sobbing and weeping for like 3 minutes straight. And, being a gang member and an ex-convict, like you're not allowed to feel, you're not allowed to cry, none of those things, right, are allowed. And so I held a lot of things in, and just the guilt and the shame and all of these things, I remember just letting it all go. It was the first time I felt any type of like emotional freedom. I saw kind of a light at the end of the tunnel when everything used to just be dark and black. And after that session, I just felt like 30 pounds lighter. And this lady was teaching how to do it, right? This theta healing thing. And so I decided to learn it. And once I learned it, so many things happened for me, right? I graduated college. I met the love of my life, who's my wife now, Bridget. I did so many different things, became a transformational speaker, a motivational speaker, spoke at, high schools, ended up becoming an author, ended up coaching a bunch of people, healing people on their journeys. And just throughout the years, I've experienced so much, and I never really took the time or had the opportunity to really just give back and share what I've learned. And that's what this channel really is about, is sharing my experiences, my insights, my lessons. So if this is for you, if you want to learn more about yourself, if you want to build a better relationship with yourself, if you want to find that freedom from within and to transform and to grow and to expand into the most authentic, fullest version of yourself, this channel is going to talk. I'll probably talk a lot about, spiritual awakening, consciousness, kind of personal development, healing, working on beliefs, tools and tips on manifestation, as I said earlier. But there's going to be all sorts of stuff. You guys can feel free to ask me anything that you like, and happy to go over any topics. But for now, I just wanted to put myself out there. If this is interesting to you, you feel aligned with it, it resonates, feel free to subscribe, like this video. By the way, if you're also interested in my personal story, so if you're curious of like how I, by the way, started as a regular Asian kid, straight A student almost, and went to a private boarding school on the path to graduate, go to an Ivy League school, become, a corporate executive or a investment banker. That was my path before going to the other side and then becoming a full-on drug dealer, gang member, convict, felon, incarcerated, to becoming a motivational speaker. I've got a book right here. It's called The Felon Finds Freedom. If you're interested in the story of my personal transformation, how I went, what happened, the different stories, how, the police raiding my house a couple of times, feel free to check it out. I'll put the link down in the description box or somewhere around here. Check it out if you'd like. But other than that, welcome to Inside Out Freedom.